What's up, party rental people? Welcome to the Bounce House Bosses podcast, where real party rental business owners share their stories, struggles, and secrets to success. I'm your host, Tariq Al-Khatib with the Vet Hawk, and here's a quick preview of today's episode.
You gave so much knowledge before you even acquired a customer.
You had 23 rentals this weekend, so how you have 23 with 16? Are you doing a lot of flipping? Easy, that's the key word, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I say this all the time. Pretty does not pay the bills. Pretty doesn't pay the bills. What's up, rental people? I'm joined by Gabriel Duta with Jumping Joy Inflatables, obviously. Gabriel, how's it going, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Excited to be talking to you. Gabriel, let's jump right in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your party rental business? How many inflatables you have, where you're located. Just tell us a little bit about so people kind of get a sense of your business here.
Okay, yes. So we're located in Middle Tennessee, and we started in 2023. My wife and I started around that time. Well, prior to that, I had a pressure washing business, so back in Illinois, and I learned a few lessons from that. Well, we could go over it, Tariq. But anyway, so we started in 2023. Third quarter of 2023 with 2 inflatables, and then 2024 started with added 7, so total 7, and then we grew in 2025. We got 16. So it's been great so far.
So now you have 16 total?
16 total.
Wow.
Yes.
You were just telling me just before we hit record that you had 23 rentals this weekend. So how you have 23 with 16? Are you doing a lot of flipping?
Well, most of that was school events. So it was three separate school events.
Wow. How are you getting school events when you're like 1 year in business? That's crazy.
Well, what we did is we sent out a letter in the middle of in the beginning of 2025, and that's how they found us. So that was a nice return on investment for sure.
That's amazing. So the letter where you sent it earlier this year, did you use the Event Hawk template or did you use a different template?
I think we used a combination of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we sent it in, and we had some other schools. I think total of 5 schools so far.
That's huge.
Yes. Dude. Yeah, but these three ones were the big ones. 7, 8 units, I think, around there. So
amazing.
Yeah, it was good to see, because you always wonder if you get any return on anything that you do. So definitely we did.
That's really great. And they called you and they mentioned the letter?
Yes. So I have them. I do have a tag on Event Hawk or IO, with the school letter. So we'll keep track of that. Yeah,
dude, that's great, man. That's fantastic. Really proud of you, man. That's great. If
thanks.
This is like, what the heck are you guys talking about? If you text the word podcast or comment the word podcast to our phone number or comments, that we could send you the template of that letter. But let's talk a little bit about your story. How did you pressure washing business? What made you get into the party rental business?
So unfortunately, when we moved from Illinois, I tried to get the pressure washing business started up here, and it was kind of difficult. And unfortunately, I had to let it go. But in my mind, I already started, getting that entrepreneurial feeling. So I was just looking at different avenues or different ways to start another business, and we booked a bounce house combo from this company that's close by us. And I think in my mind I was already prepared, and I was watching, or just keeping an eye on any new opportunity that comes along. So my mindset was already set on it. So I was watching the guy, I was talking to him for a little bit, I was watching the way he was, setting up and taking down. And then I told my wife, I was like, maybe this is what we can do. So and she was on board, and we moved pretty fast, because like I said, I was, my mindset and everything was, we're just looking at it. So we knew that if something should happen, I already had the steps in my mind how to get things done faster, to get it started. So that was back in June, July of 2023. And we were up and running let's say late July of
Wow, you can
2023,
waste no
with
time.
just 2 units. So we had everything, like I said. But I think it was because I was ready in my mind was ready for it, and yeah. So that's how we started.
Have you always been like had an entrepreneurial mindset where you're always like thinking of starting businesses, or was this new
You
for you?
know, I want to say I do or I did, but I was never clear. Yeah, I was trying different things, different things in the beginning before the pressure washing business. And I don't want to say like businesses, but let's say money making weekend things.
Okay.
Yeah, just small things, nothing huge.
Do you
Yeah.
still work a full-time job?
No, I don't. No. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're running your party own
So,
business full time.
yes.
That
Yeah.
is so cool. So what did you do before this?
So I was in for a company for 20 years. I was in logistics uh in Illinois, back in Illinois for 20 years.
That sounds super
So
boring.
yeah.
What's logistics? What were you doing?
Yeah, so they're let's see, they were we're manufacturing let's say cleaning solutions for microchips. So yeah, we had big companies. Our customers were Intel, uh
Ah,
all the major players. Samsung was one of our big companies. So they
wow.
used our product to kind of shine their microchips, and all that. So
20
yeah,
years.
20 years. Yep.
What made you finally quit your job and just
Well, the major reason we moved from Illinois. So yeah, so it happened quicker than we planned on it. So
any regrets?
no, no, no regrets at all. I mean, we learned so much. I mean, like I said, we had a 5-year plan to move, but it happened earlier than that. And we don't have anybody here. It's just like we just made the move to. I feel like it was one of those things. Is like a big change and we get to start all over again. Or something like that. So yeah.
Well,
So
sounds
it wasn't easy. I could tell you that, but
I can
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, sounds like you guys are did pretty well. That's really great. What's your favorite part of owning a party rental business now?
There's a few things, but I feel like uh I like meeting with customers, uh, face to face and seeing them, when we set up and we get a lot of like, wow, this is bigger than we thought or we saw on the website. And then the kids, I mean, imagine they're 8, 9 year old, and they look up and they see this big inflatable, So I feel the customer interaction. I like that a lot.
Like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
That's great. It does feel great
yeah,
when they're seeing it and they're happy and
yeah.
you're like
And
nervous.
especially if they leave a review, a good review.
Yes.
So yeah, what we try to do, I don't know. This is a quick. Uh, so if we know it's a birthday party, so we have the birthday kid. If they're around, we have them turn with the parents' permission, turn the blower on and have the parents record it.
Really?
Yes, yes. And it seems like they really like that.
That
Not
is
all the
so
parents.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, so they sit, we show them how to do it, and then we tell them 1, 2, 3, count down, and they record the whole thing, and the
That's
kids are like,
awesome.
excited, man. Yeah, yeah,
What? That is so cool. I never thought
yeah,
that is really, really
yeah.
cool.
I
Wow.
think I shared it with Lionel, but
I
yeah,
love that. I love that idea so much. And you
yeah,
make it like an experience. You tell the parents
yes,
to
yes,
record and
exactly,
oh, they must
yes,
love
exactly,
you. They're not renting with
yes.
nobody else, man. I feel bad for your competitors.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're booking again.
That's great, man. Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's really great. That's super
yeah,
creative, man. You were
yeah,
definitely right to work for yourself because you are a creative man.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah. Well, appreciate
What's
it. Yeah.
what's one thing you wish you knew sooner?
Well, that's an easy one for me. If I could do anything, well, if I could have done something differently on my first, business, is hire out some of the things that I thought I could do on my own. Um, you know, as far as Google ads or marketing stuff, website and things like that. Because that's a big lesson that I learned from my previous business, the pressure washing business. I bought all the equipment, spend a lot of money on the equipment, and then just a small percentage on flyers or anything like that, but nothing else. So I found myself in a situation where, yeah, I had the equipment, but I didn't have the customers. I couldn't get the customers because my website wasn't looking good. I tried to do it my, I didn't. I tried to do it on my own. Didn't look great, and then I didn't spend any money on Google ads or anything like that. So I feel like that. Yeah, that's the one thing is hire out the things that I wasn't good at, or maybe I just didn't have the time for it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that definitely. So what made you finally realize like, hey, I should hire somebody to do my marketing instead of doing it myself?
Well, so the pressure washing is I didn't do that. So I learned from that. I was like, the next time. So when we got this started up in 2023, I already knew that, um, I'm gonna have to do that, and but at that time I was new to the business. I was just watching a lot of videos, YouTube videos, and I watched a lot of your videos and very informative. And then I think in 2023 in the autumn, in the fall, October, I think I came across, Event Talk, and that's how it started. So in my mind, I already knew I'm gonna, I'm gonna hire that out. So when the opportunity came, I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna waste time, and I'm not gonna make the same mistake as the my previous one. So
Did you ever have like doubts or hesitations or like, what if I pay for this and then I don't make any money?
yes, and initially, yes, not a major hesitation, but yes, I'm like, okay, I was I didn't want to fail again, so I'm thinking like, yeah, uh, what if I spend this money on this and I don't have, I don't have enough money for something else. So yeah, I'm gonna say yes a little bit. Yes, like I guess like everything else, but yeah, I was hesitant in the beginning for sure.
So let me ask you this.
Mhm.
How did you, so how, what advice do you have for somebody out there who's, it's like, okay, Gabriel,
Mhm.
how do I know if like, how do I know, should I hire Event Hawk? Should I hire someone else? How do I know, how do you know if the person you hire to do like your marketing and stuff, how do you know if they're doing a good job? How do you know that we're doing a good job for you as Event Hawk? And what advice would you give to somebody out there? Because there's
So
a lot of
what
companies
I
that
would
they'll promise
yes.
you things, right? Like they'll have good
Mhm.
ads, they'll promise you all these
Yes.
things, and then you
Yes.
work with them and you're like, because even a lot of people like they'll recommend companies like in Facebook groups, like,
Yes.
oh, this person's great.
Yes.
And then you
Mhm.
work with them. And I have people like Tariq, everybody was recommending this guy, and I worked with him and
Mhm.
I didn't really get results, but I think maybe
Right.
it's me because everybody's recommending them. And
Mhm.
it's like you start to doubt yourself. So how do you know? Is it you? Is it them?
Yeah, so what I could say is just do a little research, get on groups, initially, um, and just see the comments or reviews or anything like that. But I think ultimately you just have to make the decision. Yeah, I've looked at other companies, but I just your company was different than the other company, and the reason is because you gave so much knowledge before you even acquired a customer. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, yeah. So, and I kind of felt like I was part of the team already, to be honest. So it kind of made it easier for me, you know. Uh, so you do some research, but you're just gonna have to make a decision on, uh, on which way you want to go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you're saying like because you
Mhm.
had you we gave you like so much stuff for free before you even signed up, you felt like, hey, if this is what they're able to do for
Mhm.
me before I pay, it's only going to be better when I do become a paying member. Okay, cool.
But yeah.
What about now that you're working with us? I guess like what's your favorite part about Event Hawk? How do you know? Because some people are like, oh yeah, I don't know, like maybe, you know, 'cause maybe I could have got those bookings anyways, etc. How do you know what's your
Mhm.
favorite part about working with us, and how do you know that we're actually helping you make money?
Well, we have the update Zoom calls, with the business coach. Lionel's is my business coach, and we go through numbers. and we get updates through text or text. Like I said, Zoom calls. And if you have any questions or anything like that, I mean, you always get a reply back. Uh, but I do see, we go over all the metrics when we have the meetings. So the results are there. And if they're not there, then we have a conversation and we make some changes or anything like that. Yeah.
And the bank account's looking good, so that's a good sign
Well,
too.
yeah, that's one way. Yeah, when you hear when you look at your phone and you're like, okay, you got a booking or anything like that, So
yeah, love it.
yeah.
And do you use the EventHawk app to text customers? Do you book most customers
Yes.
talking to them over the phone, or do you book them through the app?
Most of them is through the app, which is great.
Okay.
But if they don't book, you have to call them and do you have to do the work by yourself. So yeah.
So if somebody, so you're obviously doing well for yourself. You're marketing, you have a website. You told me you just had a record weekend. Congratulations again. 23 units in one weekend, going from
Well,
like
it's 1 week, but
one
yeah.
week, right, 1 week. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
So what is your secret as far as uh, getting those sales? So it sounds like you're texting them through the EventHawk app, but then if they don't reply or if it's a big sale, at what point do you call them? Tell me a little bit about your process.
So so if they don't book the first time, through the event talk text, we'll leave it a few days, but then we reply back through text, saying you know we could offer an you know extra percentage, discount, but sometimes we don't call, either. But if we do end up calling, we just call and then you just go over like, hey, we could offer a discount or anything like that, or free overnight or something like that to get them
Some incentive.
to book with us. Yeah, yes. So and then most of the time they work, and sometimes it doesn't. But that's kind of our process. We let the event talk app do the work, reply, and if nothing moves, then we go ahead
And you
and give them a
call.
call. Yeah.
Sometimes, honestly, they just need to hear somebody's voice because
Yes.
most of us are so busy that we're
Hmm.
not going to call. So the guy that does call, they're like, wow, like this
Yeah.
is the guy that I want to rent from because I know that they're going to answer their phone on the weekend during
Hmm.
my party versus these other guys who I haven't heard back from. Just been texting is
Yes.
great. Like Event Hawk is great. Everybody's jumping on AI right now. Oh, AI can do
Hmm.
this. AI can do that. But bro,
Yeah.
people
No.
people will always prefer to
Yeah.
talk to other people,
Yeah.
even when the AI sounds
Yeah.
real and all that.
Hmm.
Just having a voice, talking to somebody, even if
Oh
you
yeah.
offer a discount, just saying, "Hey, I saw
Yeah.
you got this. What questions can I answer?" Oh, I love
Yes.
it. I just was wondering what happens if it rains, and you just, oh,
Hmm.
yeah, no problem. We talk to them. Like, okay, how do I pay you? How do I secure this? So I think you're absolutely
Hmm.
right, man. Just jump
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, I mean that and you get replies from like, oh, you actually, wow, you actually picked up the phone or things like that, And I'm like, for me, it's like, yeah, obviously you got to pick up the phone, but I know through talking with our customers that previous companies that they booked with, they don't do that. They, either they cancel on them or they had a bad experience. They never show or they showed up late, when the party started or even after. I mean, some of the stories that we get, to me, it sounds crazy, but it's good for us because we that's a opportunity for us to shine, so
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Now, as far as marketing, what do you feel has helped you the most? Is it Google ads, Facebook ads? What are we doing for you? Like what kind of services do you have with us? How are you marketing and what seems to
Okay,
impact?
so we started off like I said in 2023 late fourth quarter, and I believe we signed up with in October for a website. You get yeah, redesign our website, and then we went with Google ads, so we prepared everything for 2024 season
Okay.
start. So we had so we had a website done. We have Google ads, and now we just started with the Facebook ads. And I want to say so far, Google ads has helped us a lot.
Okay.
Yes, that the majority of our bookings.
Got it. And did you have a website before coming on to us? How important do you think it is to have a website, or what made you finally decide to get a website, or were you like
Oh,
for your pressure washing business? Do you have you said you built your own?
yeah, well, GoDaddy, yeah, I try to build in my own, but yeah, it doesn't look like it looks like ours looks right now. So yeah, we had the the generic version, IO.
Is that the
No, actually, we started with ERS.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yes, yes, and then we moved from that to IO, and yeah, we use their website, and then that's how we started. So now the website I feel is very important because we get so many compliments, like how easy it is to navigate. Our website, the process, the booking process. Um, yeah, and overall, I think it's very important to have a good website. That I always see myself like if I go to a website, I'm looking for something, I want to be able to know, are they selling the stuff that I'm looking for, and is it easy to book or buy something? Because if it's not, I leave or I go somewhere else. So
Easy. That's the key word, man. Absolutely.
yeah,
I say this all the time.
yes,
Pretty does
mhm,
not pay the bills. Pretty doesn't pay the bills. It's got to
right,
be easy. And
yes,
the best test you can do is literally
hmm
ask a friend or family member or cousin, tell them, hey, go to
hmm
my website and book a bounce house and just look over their shoulder and don't say nothing. It is
okay,
the
yeah,
most frustrating thing to watch somebody struggle with your website. You're gonna be like, oh, click there,
mhm,
click there. But you're not there with your customers. So if you have
right,
to tell somebody how to do it,
hmm
then that's how you know
okay.
you got work to do. So
You know what? Yeah, that's good. That's a good way. I'm gonna do that. Yeah,
you'll be
yeah,
surprised. I mean, if we
yeah,
built your website, we look at that a lot. We look at the
yeah.
customer experience. I'm always telling people it's got to be easy. They're like, oh, but Tariq, but what about
hmm
upsells? But what about add-ons?
hmm
But what about I'm like, bro, no.
Yeah,
Make it
right,
clean, easy,
right.
get the
Yeah,
deposit, and then do the rest.
yeah.
So I think, yeah, definitely
You,
try it. It's definitely an eye opener.
you know what? And I'll tell you, we get a few calls. So they book online, and I look, I kind of look at the timestamp. So if, because we get a notification, right? Someone requested a quote. I look at that time, and within I kid you not, within 4 minutes they booked, right? 4 minutes, and then we get a call. It happened a few times. We get a call. I just want to make sure that you guys are legit, because the process was so smooth and fast.
What?
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
And I'm like, sure, yeah, we are, I'm all ecstatic, and so that's very see, and that's a good way to kind of see if your website is fast and easy to book. So at first when I heard that, I was like, yeah, like it took me by surprise because I'm like, uh, it happened so fast, so they just want to confirm.
That
So
is one heck of a
yes,
compliment. Now you're gonna have me check out your website. What's he doing? I'm not getting called. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Dude,
no, you guys know I haven't changed anything, but
we built it, right? So I should.
yes, yes.
Well, I've been waiting to get them to get Yvette Hawk, my company, to build me a website, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
I hope you guys
yeah.
treat your customers better than this because I've been waiting. But they're like,
Yeah.
oh, Tariq, you always say the customer comes first, so I'm waiting
Oh,
to get my website redone.
there
So
you go.
we're just so busy. So yeah, I'm holding my breath. Maybe 2026 I'll have a new website. We'll see. Um, Okay,
Yeah.
you mentioned website is important, and I love what you said about it being easy to navigate. And I think we dropped some gems here. What about the
Mhm.
marketing? So you said Google ads, Facebook ads. Have you seen much from there, or not really? Is that something
Yes.
you do? You have?
Yes. Lately, yes. Yes. Actually, we're starting to run Facebook ad water slides, yes, but Google ads, we're going to start running uh, for water slides. Uh, but yeah, I think marketing is very, very important for sure.
I mean, how do you know? Like, what made you decide to do Facebook ads and Google ads? Which one is more important?
I want to say both, but we started off with Google ads, and that helped us tremendously. And why not, start with the Facebook ads? What I like Facebook ads is because if someone clicks on it, if someone clicks on it and they don't do anything, they get that in their feed, from what I understand, which I like that. It
Retargeting.
gives, Yes, retargeting. There you go. So we've been getting a lot of Facebook bookings too. So
Good.
that's good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good to see. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. Yeah. So
How do you know if they're coming from Google or Facebook?
we get we use the obviously the Event Hawk website or even the app. And it is, I mean, there's a link and it shows where the initial uh, contact or booking comes from. Yeah,
Uh,
so it shows Facebook or Google Ads or website. So yeah, you could
nice.
track that.
You're looking at all that. I love it. Do
Yes.
you get the texts? So for us, for my company, I get a text that says this booking came from Google Ads, this booking came from Facebook ads. You get those as
No,
well?
we don't. No, we don't. That's a good feature to have, though. I like that.
Well, yeah, if you reach out, we can add that for you.
Okay.
I think all new accounts get it, but we have to kind of go back and add. So if you
Okay.
reach out, we'll do that for you.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it because I like that. It's more efficient.
Yeah, I love those texts. We just got our first dunk tank booking, dude. I'm excited. I bought a dunk tank.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's good.
the day that you and I met at the IOA, I actually convinced my wife.
Purchased one?
We did. I wanted 3. Here's what you got. Here's what I learned. If you want your wife to buy one thing, you got to tell her you want 3. She'll say no. You can only buy one. Because if I told her I want one, she would have said no. You can't get it. But I'm like,
right.
we're maxing out on inflatables. You know, we got to get. So we got our first book today for a church or something. So I'm excited. And yeah,
that's good.
I got that text, and it's
okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I was looking to get a dunk tank, and I'm going to. It's just maybe not right now, but yeah.
I'm not recommending you get. I just got my first.
No, yeah. But I it's funny because of some bookings that we had, they did ask if we have a dunk tank.
Okay.
And I'm like, I even called a competitor trying to, yeah, to see if I could, if I could.
I don't like that you got to send a truck just for that, like a tow. But then again, you don't need a truck. You could like tow it with any car. So
okay, yeah.
So we'll see like logistically how it's going to work out. But talk to me about schools. So I'm still kind of impressed here with that. You're basically, after being in business like one full year, you're able to book 5 schools. Tell me about your process. So
okay,
the template from Event Hawk, modified it sounds like a little bit. You sent out these letters, then the school calls you, right? Because of what's in the letter. How do you what's your process? What's your secret for booking these schools? If you're new, like why would they book with you? There's other.
Well, you know what? It wasn't like that before. In 2024, we lost bids for schools because they said you have inflatables, bounce houses, but you don't have obstacle course, or you don't have things like that. Inflatable games, football, football or basketball or anything like that. So we lost a few, well, no, actually all of them in 2024. So at the end of the season of 2024, we're like, you know what? We're not going to lose that in 2025. So we're going to purchase inventory that's geared towards events. So we purchased an obstacle course, a few inflatable games, and then a double axe game. And we've seen a lot of even HOA events that they booked with us. Yes. And I believe it's because of our inventory is geared towards, big events. So, so with the school, they called us, and they're asking, what inventory we have and all that. So we create a package for them.
Pause, hold up. Hey, if you're enjoying the podcast, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, do whatever you got to do down there. And if you know somebody who you think can benefit from this, please go ahead and share this with them. It's a lot of work doing all this for free, so it would help us if you went ahead and shared it. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to work with Event Hawk to get the results like these guys were getting, or if you just want some of our freebies, go ahead and comment the word podcast or text the word podcast to 708-401-6465. Again, that's 708-401-6465. And when you comment or text the word podcast, we'll send you all of the resources from this episode and other episodes for things like the Bounce House School book, how to book a call or book a demo with Event Hawk to see if we can help you with your party rental business, how to get 0% funding so you guys can buy more inventory and have a dirty warehouse like me, and how to get just our templates and all of our freebies. So with that, thank you again for watching. Back to the show.
For that, they tell us a budget, Some of them, some don't tell us a budget, but it's easier for us if we know a number. That way we could create a package for them, and that's what we've been doing the last three or four events.
Okay.
So yeah, and if they're happy with it, they book, and which obviously they did. So
Now, do they obviously they don't book it right then and there, so they have to go back and talk to their people and all that.
yes,
Are you
yes.
following
So
up? How are you?
yeah, yeah. So you over here you have to be signed up with or through the county school. So you have to be a vendor. So you have to set up to be a
Okay.
vendor.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
So
So
you have
that's
to
great.
submit your
That's a great
insurance.
tip to find out
Yes.
if your school,
Yes.
like Chicago public schools, you have to be a
Mhm.
vendor.
Okay. Yeah.
So same thing. So you
Yeah.
have to find out otherwise, and obviously you found that out. So you have insurance. Was it hard to become a vendor?
No, not really. It depends on. So we have our my daughter's school, uh, Wilson County schools. So we with them it's easier. But then we have the metropolitan schools in Nashville, which is a bigger school system, and their process was longer than this one. But I would suggest to start early if you're gonna mail those school letters. Make sure you find out if you need to be signed up with them as a vendor because you don't want to get the call and they say yeah we want to book with you and then it's too late for that. Yeah, that's a good tip.
When did you send out the letters?
Oh my gosh, I remember because you said you commented on my reply to your post and you said it might be it's too late but start or something like that. So I think in late December or January.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So I think it was in December, late December. Yeah.
Okay. And so you sent them kind of late December, early January. Do you remember
Yes.
how many you sent?
Oh, I want to say I know it's a lot because I did them by hand. 300 something, about
300.
300. Yeah.
Look at that dedication, though. I just got to say,
Yeah.
300. You got 5 out of 300. Somebody might look at that and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's not much,"
Uh,
but it's a numbers
yeah.
game. Like
Yeah.
the more you probably if you sent 600, you might get 10, right?
Yeah. So yeah, so in total it cost me with the envelope and stamps about $800.
Okay. Oh, that's a big
Yeah.
expense too. Was
It
it worth
is.
it?
And yeah, and believe me, when I looked at the stamps are the
I know,
most
right?
expensive.
They are. I remember the same.
And I was over here, doing folding them up, put them in the envelope, putting the stamp. It was a long process. Um, and I was like, man, is this gonna work? Is it gonna be worth my time and this and that? But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna follow the process and I'm gonna see if it works or not. And it was slow in the beginning. I'm like, man, who's gonna call? Like they're not calling. But all of a sudden, our school district, she said, yeah, I just saw, I just received your brochure and we
You
like to
heard her
book.
do a little dance and you were like, yes,
Ah,
how can I
yes,
help you?
yes, I did. Yeah,
I
I put it
love
on
it.
mute and then I did my dance and
Yeah, I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
So so she called and then after that she goes to, she referred me to another teacher, like a different grade, and she called. And then another one at the same school. So we had three events at the same school, different
Wow.
days.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so cool. And in the
And then
letter,
we
in the envelope, you had the letter, obviously, and then you had your brochure.
yes. Yes, with so we spend the money on our first initial brochure, which we had to scrap because it didn't have the obstacle course and everything. So I was not going to put those in there. So you know, we had to spend some more money and get new brochures with the inventory that they like. So yeah, we put that in there and we send it out. Yes.
Now, is the brochure geared towards schools, or was it just a generic brochure that was for
Yeah,
anybody?
it was generic. Yeah, so it was generic. It had our bounce houses, but this one had obstacle courses and some inflatable games
Okay.
and the double X game. So like like if I just figured like if a company opens up and like okay yeah if they just see bounce houses they're like well we need other things for our company's event.
Yeah.
So when they open it up they saw obstacle course and whatever. Um, yeah.
Did you design the brochure yourself, or do you have it professionally designed? What do you recommend?
Well, my first brochure I used your template.
Okay.
the one that you offer somewhere. And then yeah, and then I just used our colors and then I just updated with the new inventory.
So then,
That
so
was
you designed it yourself using the template.
yeah.
You didn't have a
I used the Canva. Yeah,
Canva. Okay,
yeah,
very
yeah,
cool. Very cool. See,
yeah.
there you go.
And
Some things you
yeah.
can do yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you know what? And again, I try to keep it simple, like a website. If they open up, like, what does this guy do? you, I don't want to put too many things on it where it's gonna overwhelm them. Our number, just minimal things.
So what was your next steps? So for somebody watching who's kind of like you starting out, hasn't really booked out many schools.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So they call you, you talk to them, you ask them for a budget. It's always nice if they give you a budget. Do
Yeah.
you create them a quote? Do you try to go under their budget? You send them that quote. Like what happens next? You create them the quote in the system, email it to them, and
Hmm.
then just hold your breath.
Yes.
Wait. Tell me a little bit about what happens
Well,
next.
yes. So I did learn something from one of the I want to say business coach or mentor. Um, he's a customer of yours, and we Lionel introduced us. So he's been he's been uh kind of around the same time, but he's got a lot more inflatables. He's got a lot more business knowledge. So we go back and forth. So that's one thing I suggest. If you could get a business mentor or coach or anybody that has done what you're trying to do, I think it helps a lot, and that learning curve can be shortened for sure. So anyway, so he gave me some tips on how to handle school bookings. So one of them was, yeah, try to get the quote and then create a package for them, and maybe give them a school discount, whatever it could be, just to incentivize them to book. So I do that. And I send them a quote. Either they come back and say, oh, can we get a bigger discount? And sometimes we have to say no, I guess. But we try to work with them within the budget. Yeah, especially if it's a first time school booking from them.
Mm.
Just to get them to get our name in that school system. Um, and then we just wait, and sometimes it takes a little longer. To for the wait game until they get us a yes or no, and we do follow up for sure.
Okay.
We give them a call. So until we make and close the sale. Not
That's
all of them are going to be closed, but yeah, we try our best to close it. I mean, we don't want to give everything away, but
right.
yeah.
What's your so do you have like a school discount recommendation or do you just give them some free games or how do you do that to get them so we can
Yes. So initially it was 20% discount, but either we give free generators,
oh
so
wow
free generators or free games. So it all depends. Or we give it depends on how many units
okay
they they book.
and these are bigger orders these are not like your $200-300 orders they're pretty
Right,
yeah
right,
awesome
right.
and they're on weekdays so that's great
Oh yeah, yeah,
I got two of
yes.
them I think next week and both have to
Oh,
be set up before like 7 a.m. so I don't even know how I'm gonna do that
oh,
crazy
yeah.
yeah that's the
Ours,
worst part about schools they want you all set up
yes,
and done before 7
yes. Because you never know what happens during that event. I'm always worried about the generator.
oh
The generators turn off or anything like that, which happened.
really
One of the yeah, which happened. But a lot of people say, "Oh, that's not good for your company." They're gonna remember that. I disagree. You know why? They remember how you reacted, how you solved the problem. You know, because as soon as they called, I was like, okay, I have another generator. I'm gonna bring it, and within an hour, the issue was gone. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. This and that. So it's. I feel like it's just how you approach and how you fix the situation. The issue. That's the only way I could think of. There's always gonna be mistakes. There's always gonna issues come up, but I believe that they remember how you handled it.
Gabriel, I love that so much. That's great. So you're saying I disagree because you're right, man. I mean, nobody's perfect. It's you're
Right.
absolutely right. Sometimes you could turn a bad situation to. I love that, man. Love.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, so yeah, I mean, we had to for us, we had to set up the night before because it was like a 8 o'clock start for them.
Yeah.
And they don't want, there's kids coming, parents dropping kids off and traffic and all this and that. So we set up the night before.
Yeah.
Which worked out, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Let's talk about competition. Do you have a lot of competition in your area?
I do have some competition, but I want to say only one big company that I'm looking at, and I have them on that spreadsheet that you offer.
That's right on them.
Oh,
That's right.
oh man, that's one of the good yeah, that's a good spreadsheet because I keep tabs on them, on my competitors. Some competitors I got to tell you is that I started in 2023 when I did the spreadsheet are no longer in business.
Wow. Okay.
Which is I'm bad for them, but good for us. I mean, you know. Um, but yeah, so the competitors, one, I know they're out there. It's just that I only see one that I feel like it's really a competitor of ours.
Competitor. How do
Yeah.
you handle when customers tell you give them a price and they're like, hey, okay, I found it cheaper somewhere else?
Yeah, I've been getting that a lot, with the discounts and that. I try to sell what we offer. We're a business. We have insurance. We have all our inflatables inspected, and yeah, we might not be the cheapest, but we're a company that's reliable, and now we have the 5-star Google reviews that we could depend on.
Okay,
And I'm sure they see that, and they see all the reviews, from customers. So we use that a lot, and some book with us and some don't, you know. But we try to sell what we offer. Um,
Try to focus on the value.
yes, yes.
Gotcha. Tell me a little bit about let's switch gears a little bit and talk about like your logistics. So you talked about kind of how you handle the sales side. What about the deliveries? Do you do all your deliveries the day before? And then also tell me about cleaning. Do you clean when you deliver on site, or do you clean back at the warehouse? Do you have a warehouse or storage?
So we started with our garage, and then my wife said that she needs it back. So now we have storage units, storage unit, which we keep, not the big ones, because we keep the smaller ones, smaller inflatables, because it's easier to access them and move them around if we need to. And then we purchased our trailer because we rented a trailer. Oh no, we started out in our pickup truck, so that's how we delivered
Okay.
our inflatables, and then we started renting a trailer until we bought one this in 2025. Actually, no, 2024, late 2024. Yeah.
You got truck and trailer, and then do you deliver
Yes.
everything day before, or kind of?
Yeah. So again, that's where I got some tips from the business mentor.
Business mentor. Second time you mentioned.
Yes.
Is he
Yeah.
one of your competitors?
No,
He's
no,
in a
he's
different
no,
market.
he's in Florida.
Okay.
I could say your name if you want to, because he's an event hawk.
Yeah, I
customer.
mean that's fine. Just
You want, yeah. You want me? I can say, because
I'm just curious if it's because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, oh, like how are you going to get advice from somebody who's competing with you?
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's in Florida. And he's
Okay.
doing, yeah, his name's Patrick.
Patrick, yeah, I was talking to
Yes,
Patrick
yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah. Well, he did tell me. He mentioned that. Yeah, about Google Ads and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, he gave me tips. So what I initially did is drop off the day before, no, the day of the event. Yeah, and then pick up at night. And that was fine with 2 units or 7 units, But and we changed that, and he told me that if you want to have some quality time with the family, maybe you should start uh setting up or delivering a day before, which we started doing it. Not all the inflatables, but we have started doing that. Drop off early day before, and then pick up. let's say our weekend, we drop off Friday or even Saturday, and then we pick up Sunday.
Now, do you advertise that, or do you charge for that, or is that like surprise, we're gonna let you deliver to
No,
your
so we don't advertise that. What we do is like let's say someone books for Saturday, and then Saturday pickup. What we do is the week prior to that, or a few days, we text them because we look at our schedule, the delivery and pickup, and we're like, oh, would you, we just ask them if they want to keep the inflatable a day, overnight, and we pick up Sunday morning. I don't think we had a customer that says, "Oh no, we don't want to." We used to charge $50 overnight, but I think we hardly do that anymore. Yeah, and the reason is because, well, I don't know. I don't know if they would say yes or no. It's just like they're helping us out. Them not knowing it, but it makes our pickup schedule smoother.
Absolutely. And like
yes.
Patrick said, you get time with your family. That's
important.
Yeah. If you you were at the Bounce House Bosses conference, right? In January?
No, I wasn't. Oh, I was at the online version.
You were online, yeah. If you remember, Kurt said he advertises it 2 nights free on his website. And that's what you're doing. You're doing 2 nights free because they get the Friday night and the Saturday night. But he advertises it. I want to try that, but I'm worried because, like you said, sometimes I have to deliver the day of.
Yes.
And you can't do them all. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a 1 week try where we'll see what happens. But yeah.
And here's another thing that so we don't have a lot of 16 it's not a lot of inflatables, but we might lose money on some of them because what the way we have it set up is let's say someone books a bounce house Saturday, and if it stays overnight, then it's not available Sunday, and sometimes people want the same one on Sunday, so that overnight might not work.
So you can just pick it up early Saturday, and you don't owe them that because
right. So that's why we don't kind of tell them, because what if someone wants to book it? I'll drive over there and pick it up.
Same
at night.
But you can't do that if you advertise this.
Right.
That's my concern.
Right. Now, if someone has 20, 25, 30 inflatables or something like that, where that can happen because you have all these different inflatables for.
And that's what he has. He's doing a couple million. He's got like a couple hundred. I think he said he does in 1 weekend like 140 deliveries. So I can't even imagine. So that's great. He's probably watching this like, keep drooling.
Yeah.
What about cleaning? Are you doing your cleaning?
Oh, yes.
Or are you doing it at the customers?
So we do like, let's say water slides. We try to dry them as much as we can when we pick up. And if we can't, we set either Monday or Tuesday, and then we clean them at in the backyard somewhere. We clean them and sanitize them. Now, if they're not dirty, we do on-site cleaning, like spot clean.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we do some.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of handling them. I mean, you can't get away from that. Yeah. So it just depends if they're dirty. If they're not dirty, then you just do them on locations clean. But you know what I find out is, like, some of the customers, if you pick up at night, late at night, or even early in the morning, they don't want you to use blow them up again because of the noise.
Okay.
I've had a few times.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, there was one incident where I was by myself in the yard. I hooked up, I plugged it in, I turned on the blower, and I was doing my cleaning inside, whatever, with the vacuum, and all of a sudden it turned off. I'm like, what happened? Did So I go back over there and I plug it. I didn't plug it in. It was already. No, the customer turned it off. And I'm like, okay, so I was like, okay, it was early in the morning, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do.
A pickup or delivery? Oh, okay.
A pickup. Yeah, I thought the breaker. But so then I was like, man, I'm glad I thought about it. I didn't turn it back on. I was like, okay, maybe she doesn't want that.
Okay,
on.
Gotcha. Good point.
So that's what we run into.
Are you team tarp or no tarp?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. Well, no, we use tarp. We use tarps. If there's water involved, definitely tarp.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you know what? You just if it's not water, we bring tarps just in case and just look at the area. But yeah, I definitely tarps for water slides. Yep. But all of our combos can be used wet, so in the summertime we put tarps.
Just tarp
So,
everything. Okay.
yeah.
What advice do you have to somebody watching this and who's not seeing success or who wants more bookings? What advice do you have for someone like that?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Gabriel, I got 16 units too, and I'm only renting like 2 or 3. What advice you got for them?
So, well, it's pretty simple. Are you trying to do everything? I know, if you start on your own, start a business on your own, that doesn't mean that you have to run it on your own. See if you, are you running Google Ads? Are you using that? How does your website look? Do you need a professional to upgrade it and redesign it? So that's what I would look at. Like, what am I doing as far? Am I trying to do that on my own? And if I am, I'm not seeing results, obviously. So hire someone to do that.
Hire someone
Um,
to help with the marketing,
yes,
essentially.
that's what I would say. I mean, that's the what other ways are you going to do it? I mean, if you tried and it's not working, could it must. I mean, you're not advertising correctly, or because some of the websites they need to be redesigned so you could get some customer feedback. Because I'll tell you, some websites that I look at, the competitors, you can't book online. You have to send an email and they'll get back to you. So right there puts us ahead of the game or the competition. Because my wife, I show her, and my wife's like, "There's no way I'm going to book with a company that I can't even book." Like, yeah, on your phone.
That's
We just had a review of a customer review saying that it was the process was so easy that I was able to book everything on my phone.
oh, that's great.
Man,
That's a
yeah,
great review.
yeah. So how happy I am, Tariq. I'm telling you, and that's the best decision I've made is hire things out, and that's my biggest advice. If someone has, let's say, 16 units and they're not getting the results,
I love that. So you don't
because you
miss
can't, you're not, yeah.
you don't miss chasing people on marketplace then, huh?
I never,
You never
I,
use marketplace?
no,
Oh,
never.
wow.
But I thought about it. I thought about it, but then I saw your videos and everything, and I'm like, I'm not trying to go the same route that I did with the pressure washing
You
business.
learn from the other business, yeah.
Yes, yes. So
So I just did a webinar on the Google Ads, and somebody commented saying, "Don't bother. You have to pay for that. Facebook market, just stick to
yeah.
Facebook Marketplace. That's free." Do you ever
Mhm.
think about that? Like, man, I'm paying I got to pay a
No.
VetHawk, I got to pay Google, I got to pay Facebook.
You know what? I thought like that with the pressure washing business, but not with this one because, like I said, I want to do everything different than that. So whatever I need to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to have that same mindset I had before. But my question is, would you? When I go in my garage or the storage, I don't like seeing my units there. I want them out.
Want
You
them
know,
out.
yeah. Or I'm on the treadmill. You know, uh, doing the treadmill, and I look at them and I'm thinking, man, how are these? This is crazy. How are these? How do I get these? Or how did I get these to make us money? Because they're really just units, right?
I love it.
And I asked that question. I'm like, these things in my garage are making us money, And I'm thinking, how did that happen? So, I answer. I'm like, you know what? It's because we took that step from the big, the initial step. Was it easy? Was it risky? Yes, but we took that initial step to get these things making us money, So,
And that step was hiring like Event Hawk to
yeah,
do that
yes, yeah,
for you.
yes,
Which,
yes, yeah.
first of all, wait, your treadmill's in your garage? I'm just trying to picture this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it's not. Yeah, yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
treadmills in the garage. You're running on a
Yeah.
treadmill. Look at
So I'm running, right? So sometimes you think, like, oh, you're in your thoughts, and I'm like, I see all these things. I'm like, man, and it's pretty cool to think like where that initial um idea in your mind, uh, to that seed, whatever you call it, and it started just from that, that one thought, like, oh, let's do this, and we started with 2, then 7, and then now 16, and you know, yeah, it's crazy to look back. We've been in business only what, not even 2 years.
That's great. Yeah, I say
So
shameless plug for the book. And I think you're on here.
yes,
I think you're
yes,
yeah, there you are. You're on the back.
yes,
You're on the back of the
yes,
book right there. Hey, bro.
yes.
Yeah, I say in the book, I say something that I was just like you, man. I
Mhm,
always used to think like I could do this by myself because I'm smart. You're smart. We are smart. You can do it yourself.
mhm.
But it's
Right.
like, am I in the business of saving money or am I in the business of making money? Never thought about it like that until, like you said,
Right.
failed so
Yeah.
many businesses. And I look back like, why did I fail in that business? You're
Right.
absolutely right. I built my website by myself. I marketed it. I
Mhm,
had a great product. I'm a great guy. People love me,
mhm.
but
Right.
they never even got a chance to meet me because I never marketed myself. And here I
Right.
was thinking it's not me. I just never marketed it. So I think you
Right.
have to decide, do you want to get rich by get rich by saving money or by making money? I've
Mhm,
never heard of a successful
mhm.
business whose goal was not to make
Right.
money. And if you want
Right.
to make money, you've got to spend money. And you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. Marketing is one of those places where you can't short yourself. Yeah, it's going to cost
No.
you money, but that
Mhm.
$1,000 that you're going to pay. Okay, if you save 1,000, this is how I think about it to myself too. Like even
Right.
that when we're marketing us, yeah, I could
Mhm.
save $1,000, but I'm losing way more because that $1,000 investment in marketing,
Yeah.
I know that I could have turned that to 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 if I invested it. So I'm
Mhm.
actually losing money by saving this money in my pocket and not spending it on marketing. So I think
Oh, that's true.
you're absolutely right, man. It's costing you more not
Yeah.
to pay for marketing.
Yeah, that's the thing, you can't think like that. And I thought like that too, but you just can't because you don't see you don't see the return on the, the initial investment of, let's say, the $800 that I spent on the school letters,
Yeah.
I'm like, the stamps, I go to buy stamps, they're like 4 or 6 rolls of stamps. I'm like, man, $400 for this. So, so you think like that, but uh, it had to be done, because I want to be able to say, yeah, it worked or it didn't work, you know.
You
But
got it.
I did what I needed to do.
I
So,
bet? You know who I bet never paid for marketing? Your competitor that
mm,
went out of
oh,
business. No longer there.
oh, yeah,
Hey, it's the
yeah.
truth.
And
Yeah.
the one that went out of business is the one that we rented
That you rented from. Yeah.
the first one, yeah,
Oh, I
that
guess you
started
found them. How
us.
did you find them? Do you remember?
Well, my wife did. Yeah, my wife did, and it was I remember being a hassle to book with him. He was,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
He said, Venmo us on this
Oh,
name, not the business name, and this and that. And my wife wasn't too happy about the experience with it, but we had to because it was last minute, right?
yeah.
So,
You know, people talk
um,
about that too, like, oh, I
yeah,
only want to take cash because I don't want to
yeah.
pay taxes or but all that
Oh,
makes you look unprofessional. Sure,
oh,
you save money,
yes,
but look, like that guy's
yeah.
not no longer in business
No,
anymore because you're treating
no.
your
I got a
business as
story
a
about that.
side hustle.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, go
I have
ahead.
a story about that. So a customer called us, text us, and says, "Can I just pay cash so I could avoid taxes or things like that?" And my reply was, I mean, we are a business that collects taxes and things like that, So in the end, she didn't book with us, but like I can't do that because I'm eventually I'm going to pay the taxes anyway. If I put the cash in there, so it's going to come out of our pocket, you know.
Mm.
So you're right. We have to look at ourselves as a business, and you know, we are a business. If you want to be a real business, you got to pay taxes, insurance, and things like that. So
And
yeah, that's how it went.
unfortunately, those types of customers are the ones that
Yeah.
don't take care of your equipment. They're the ones that don't.
Right.
They're the ones that
Right.
are unfortunately not gonna. They're not nobody's bad, but those are I got people like that in my family who they'll do everything cash, but they're the ones that are not going to necessarily it's not again, it depends what you want. That for a side hustle, yes, but for a business that you want to scale and grow and hand off to somebody or to your kids, you want it to be automated and you don't want to be able to think about like when you buy an airline ticket or rent a car, everything's credit card, everything's professional. And you never think to hassle with the airline.
Exactly.
Oh, can I get a cheaper airline ticket? No, because you're dealing with the system and it's clear. But when you know it's Venmo, oh yeah, I can hassle with this.
So you know what? So we do take cash, but the right way. You get a quote, the taxes are on there, and the deposit has to be paid by credit card or debit or whatever, and then you could pay the balance in cash the day of the event before we set up. Yeah, that's the only way, because then that way everything matches up when we at booking, at bookkeeping. So
and
I don't want to pay taxes for extra taxes because they don't want to.
You could hide. It's not even, I had a customer actually compliment me because of what you just said. She said, wow, the last person I rented from, I didn't get a contract. I didn't sign, because you have the online signature, online payments.
Right.
She was like, wow, this is so professional. It's so legit. I'm like, she's thanking me for using Event Hawk and Inflatable and all these systems that I'm paying for. People see that and they're like, okay, I'm dealing with a legit business. She can go back and email next year and look at it and see all that.
Right.
I think it absolutely, it's setting the right example for people to really respect your business and treat it like a business.
That's true. That is true.
Love it. Any final thoughts here as we wrap up, dude? I learned so much, man. You got me excited about the whole school thing, the blower thing. That's a great gem. Having the kids do that, I love the
try that. I don't use our we don't use our phone or video because they might not want to, but the parents can definitely use theirs.
That's really, really cool. All right, last question here, not related to marketing. What are your best and worst renters? Let's try that. Somebody just starting out, what recommendations do you have for them to, obviously you're in Tennessee, everybody's different, but for you personally, what's been your experience? What's your best purchase and your worst purchase? You don't have to mention manufacturers, just like what
right. Okay, so for now, right now, I would say the best purchase for us has been there's two. Can I say two?
I'm glad there's two. That's good.
There's two things. So, well, when you say purchase, is it?
I guess what's your best renter? Your best renter.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, I was thinking of something else. So I would, if you started off, I would buy a bounce house combo. Combos, yes.
Okay.
So those are, I mean, I look at our numbers and our first bounce house combo is still doing pretty well.
Okay.
It's one of our top rental. The second, or the worst,
maybe something you regret buying, or like, dang, I thought this would do a lot better.
It hasn't the time. I mean, it hasn't been. I haven't seen any results, but a cotton candy machine.
Cotton candy machine. Okay.
But here's the thing. I haven't marketed or anything like that. I may have one booking for it, so we'll see. And it hasn't been a lot. It hasn't been a while since I had it. So, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate those things. I got rid of all of mine. Too much cleaning for it. What do you rent it for? How much?
I see. I can't even tell you. I have to look at my inventory.
We were charging $75, and
yeah,
it would take longer to clean it. It would take longer to clean it than to clean a dang bounce house.
Yeah.
Screw that. I'm not, why am I wasting? And then it breaks in the truck and it's shaking, and then it doesn't know how to get it to work. Hey, I'm not trying to stress you out, but hey, it's easier. That's why we stopped. And we weren't getting that many rentals because people are like, oh, it's a easy upsell. Yeah, but I got 3 of them sitting in the warehouse, and the issue I was having was you get like a $500 rental, and because of the $75 cotton candy machine didn't work half the time or whatever, they want their money back for everything. You ruined our part. I got screwed up.
Yeah, so you know what? Yeah, I hope it doesn't end that way, but
No,
it's
no. I
like I
hope
just don't
not.
have yeah. I hope I just don't have the, I'm not too proud of about the purchase. So
Okay.
whatever, yeah.
It's an add-on. It's like for me, I just I it helped me realize how much I take for granted inflatables because they're so easy. Like everything else, like we've done
Yeah.
phones, we've done movie screens, we've done tents, we've done everything you could think of, we've done. And I always
Hmm.
go back like, dang, man, inflatables are so easy and you make pretty much the same. So what am I even doing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you have to
Yeah.
think like, do you want to go deep or do you want to go wide? You want to offer a little bit of everything, or do you just want to specialize in one thing, master that thing, and then go
All
to
right.
so for us, we're inflatables and tents. That's it. We're adding
Hmm.
dunk tanks and photo booths this year. See how that goes.
Yeah.
But this is about you. I'm making it all about me.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah. Yeah.
I get excited when we talk about that. Dude, thank you so much, Gabriel.
Yeah.
This has really been great. Anything else you wanna wrap up with?
Uh, if someone's thinking of either starting or, thinking about hiring out, like I said, I do some research, but don't get stuck on the research, and just do it, just pull the trigger and just do it. Hire, things out, especially marketing. Because that for us, that's been the best decision I feel for our company that we've made. So
There you go. Hire Event Hawk. You heard it from Gabriel.
yes, oh, I would, yeah, hiring for sure. Event Hub.
I'm so glad we're able
Yes,
to help. Are you available for if somebody wants to talk to you? We have a mentor program. Are you part of that yet?
yes,
You
yes.
are. Okay,
I'm
perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
yes,
So then if you text the
yeah.
word podcast to our phone number 708-401-6465 or comment podcast, we'll send you the page and you could actually talk to Gabriel and learn more. He could mentor you. You could learn that the student has become the master. There you go. I still have mentors. I have a couple. So that's it's always good. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. It's always good
yeah.
to have somebody that you can call, especially on weekends when a generator
Oh
doesn't,
yeah,
the customers of
no, yeah. I remember you, at your bounce house conference that you mentioned that. Yeah, because it's true though. It's very true because like I don't know how to when the school's called, right? I don't know how to create a package, for
for
them.
them,
And so I reached out to, I
Patrick.
don't know if it was a weekend, but it doesn't matter. I mean, and he came, he gave me some input, and I was like relieved. I was like, man, I never even thought about that, but you know, so it helps you out.
Yeah.
Now we
Why,
help each other out, but yeah,
why make your own mistakes when you can learn from
yeah,
others? And I'm sure he likes he enjoys helping. A lot of people love to see. Dude, I'll never forget. I'm sitting in a truck and it's raining, storming like crazy, and we got to set up this tent for this big
yeah,
event. And I'm sitting in the truck. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody. And this was way back when, before Event Hawk. And I'm like, what do
mhm,
I do? So I go to the Facebook group and I'm like, is it okay to set up a tent in a thunderstorm? I'm like, what are we gonna get electrocuted? Like, what's gonna happen? I don't care
yeah,
if it's rain. And man, it was the worst. But people were making fun of me. People were like, "Oh yeah," like it was. People were trolling
mhm,
me. I'm like, it's Saturday, and I'm waiting for somebody
yeah,
to comment on my Facebook. So it is so
yeah,
important. That is one of the biggest things that I wish if I can go back, I would
hmm,
exactly what you just said. Have
yeah,
a mentor, a buddy, somebody that
hmm,
can pick up the phone on the weekend when you just need a quick answer. Nothing
yeah,
complicated. Just somebody that
right,
can just reassure you. Because sometimes you're like,
hmm,
man, what do I do in this situation? And it's such a simple answer. You just need a
yeah,
different perspective. And you're absolutely right, man. That's so great.
yeah. So
Gabriel, thank you so much.
yes,
And this has been great. Thank you guys for
yeah.
watching. We'll definitely be I mean, hopefully people will be, I'm sure you're gonna have people reaching out to you to learn more about your secret
Hmm.
school skills, maybe Patrick. Thank you guys again for
Yeah.
watching the podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right. Thanks, Tariq.
Thank you again for watching the podcast. Thank you to our guest. Thank you to you guys for watching, for sharing. Don't forget, if you guys want the information and the links and resources mentioned in this episode, go ahead and comment podcast or text the word podcast to 708-401-6465. Again, that's 708-401-6465. And if you're interested in learning about Event Hawk services, we'll have a link there to schedule a free demo with us. No commitment. You don't have to commit. Just schedule a time with us and subscribe to this podcast. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys want to see more of, who you guys want me to interview next. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. I'm Tariq with Event Hawk. I'll see you on the next one.